Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first tutorial. I've done a couple short videos, and this will be my full length video that I do for the first time. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize my face, and I use Max Primer Moisturizer. I will have all the details of everything at the bottom of the screen once I upload the video. And I'm just going to apply that with a brush all the way around my face. And I use my hands to kind of work it in there. And I like to let that sit while I do my makeup and before I put on my gel primer. First thing I'm going to do is my eyes. We're going to do my eyebrows. And I take like just a mascara wand and kind of brush them out and in the direction that I want them to go in. And then I use MAC spiked pencil. And I'm just going to make sure that it's kind of dry. And I'm just going to line my brows up. Start at the bottom. And I pretty much follow my natural brow line. Then I'm going to do the top, and I'm going to raise the arch a tad bit because my eyebrows are not very even. So I just raise it up a bit for the arch and then come back down. And I can clean it up the way I want to with my concealer. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to use concealer to define it and clean it up. I do the same thing with my other one. This one's a little larger than this one, but like I said, we're going to clean all that up with the concealer. Okay. So then I take my MAC concealer brush. I don't know what number this is. Again, I will get the name of all the products that I use, and I think it's actually a 242 brush. And I'm going to use my MAC concealer palette. And this is in medium deep. So I'm going to actually use this color right here to line my eyebrows up. And again, I just shape it from the bottom, follow the line that I created with my pencil. Okay, and I do the same thing over here. Then I'm just going to push it down because I'm going to use the concealer as my primer for my eyeshadow and just put it over my entire lid. And depending on what eye look I am trying to create or how much I want my makeup to last that day, I may use a paint pot as a primer as well. But today it's just pretty natural look, so I'm not going to use that. I'm using pretty neutral colors on my eyes today, so I don't need anything to super pop like that. And again, you can use the warmth of your fingers to blend a little bit better than a brush too. And again, make sure they're pretty even. And I just go and use the same color, which is NC42, and I'm going to use it at the top to define my brows as well. Okay. And this is where I'll shape them a little bit more how I want them to be. And again, I'll do the same thing with this one. Pretty much like to follow my natural arch as much as possible, so my brows could look as natural as possible. I don't want them to look too defined. May have to go over this one again, which is fine. I don't want my brows to look too made up. So I'm just gonna go in with my spike pencil again and kind of define the line a little bit more. This one's fine. I'm just gonna take the arch out a little bit more this way for both of them. And I'm just gonna clean up the bottom of this one a tiny bit. And I never go to make my brows look exactly the same or for them to look too defined either. Just neat and clean, okay? So then next I'm going to take I have a custom palette by MAC that I use that has a few colors in it. I'm not sure exactly what colors these are, but we're gonna use them. I'm going to take my darker color here, and I'm going to just go into the crease. Okay. And again, I'm going to do that. Oopsie. Do the same thing to the other one. I'm going to really kind of get the corner of it there. I didn't do as much here, but we can go back in and do that. Make it like, okay. Just really for the corner crease to get that darker color. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to take, excuse me, my concealer brush again, and that same NC42, and just lightly pat it on to give it a little bit of a cut crease effect, just a tiny bit, not crazy. And so that the actual color that I'm going to use on my lid can stay a little bit longer and it could pop a little more. I'm just really going right on my lid with the concealer, lightly patting it and blending it in. Okay, and then I'm going to take my my Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay, and I'm going to use the color, use the color Trick, which is a gold color. Here. So I'm actually going to wet my brush first with my Fix Plus by MAC spray. Just so that product could really catch my brush, and I want that color to really kind of pop too. So just gonna pat it right on my lid where I put the concealer at. Get it in the crease as well here in the inner corner. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for the other eye. And just pat. I like to pat it because it kind of packed the color in. That's why I do my foundation and my face after I do my eyes, because sometimes you have droppage from the eyeshadow. Okay, and that came out pretty good. Okay. So then I'm going to take this lighter brown color that I have by MAC 2. I'm going to research these colors too so I can have them up when I post the video. And I'm just going to go in more in my inner corner with it to kind of blend it out a little bit so it's not as harsh. And I'm just going to blend it. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, more in the inner corner here, and just blend it all out. Okay. And once that's blended well, look at that. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit more of the darker color just to go over it. Tiny bit. And again on this one. Okay. So then I'm going to take another blending brush by Crown, and it's a little more sturdier than the black MAC blending brush I've been using, because I'm going to blend those colors really, really well, just at the top. And I'm not going to use any more product. I'm just going to use that to blend my two crease colors in. I'm just using circular motions with the same product that I have to just kind of blend it in. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Okay, and I have a little, it's kind of shimmery there from the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in again with my Naked palette, and I'm going to take this first color here, and that is Strange. And I'm going to use my harder tip brush, and I'm going to put it on my brow bone here, and that's going to kind of soften up the glitter too and cover that up some. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. It's going to highlight my brow bone and kind of neutralize the glitter that's there. Okay. And take the softer brush one more time and go in right back with that darker color and just put a little bit more there. Just a tiny bit. We didn't want the lighter eyeshadow to kind of fade out what we were actually doing. Get in the crease a little bit there. And again on this side, get in the crease a little bit there with the darker color. Okay. then I'm going to take a makeup wipe, and I'm just going to clean the excess foliage from the eyeshadow up. So I'm just going to go right under my eye and my nose. And just kind of clean that up a little bit. We don't have any glitter on in our powder and in our foundation. Okay. Alrighty. So then I'm going to take my primer, which is Professionals by Benefit. I'm going to apply that as well all over my face, because the first one was a primer, but it was also a moisturizer, and this is just a primer because I have oily skin. So I want my makeup to last and for me to not get all shiny and stuff, so I use this. And just apply it on your entire face, actually in your T-zone. Okay. So then I'm gonna highlight my face, and I have this MAC Prep and Prime highlighter pencil that I absolutely love, and there's actually a review on it on my website as well as on my Instagram page. And it is in Bright Forecast. So I'm just going to take the pen, and I'm just going to actually do like an upside down triangle right under my eye. Do the same thing to the other eye. You don't need a whole lot either. It goes a long way. And I'm just going to do the center of my nose, and just a very little bit on the center of my nose. Okay. And then I'm going to take my concealer brush and apply a little bit of the NC42 that I've used for my eyebrows, and just throw it in there as well, just so that it's not too bright either. And then I'm going to cover up this little scar that I have here with the same thing. And I have a blemish right here, so I'm going to cover that up as well. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Beauty Blender. This is actually by MAC. This is their little sponge, and I absolutely love it too. So we're going to take that, and we're just going to work it in there. Right up under the eye. You want to get the crease. You want to really dab in right under your eyes, because that's where it tends to crease. So that's why I like to use my primer there. Make sure that I get it there. And then I'll take the other side of it for my cheek area. And just kind of pat it. That's all you want to do, is just pat it and get it in there really good, so you can blend it good and no creases. I'm just going to do the absolute same thing for the other side. I'm actually going to get the side of my nose as well on both sides. It's a little bit of contouring and highlighting at the same time when you do that effect, when you put it on the corner of your nose on both sides. And I'm just going to continue to pat and then use the larger side and blend it really, really well in there. Okay. And do this. Just tap, tap, tap on my scar that I have here. We'll blend that all in when we use our powder foundation, and then the same thing here. Just tap, tap, tap. This is for the blemishes. And again, we will blend with our when we apply our foundation. And I'm going to use the tip of my Beauty Blender and just kind of pat it lightly back and forth on my nose and a little bit upper to blend that line that we created. Okay. Get that really well blended. Okay. And next, I use, as a foundation, I use MAC Studio Fix NC45, their foundation powder. I don't use foundation on my face because I get too greasy, and I don't really like a full coverage. So my coverage that I usually do on an everyday basis is a medium to full. So I've specialized in natural looking makeup. So unless it's an event like a wedding, or I'm taking a lot of pictures, then I won't use it. Then you would use a foundation. On my clients, I use a foundation because it's usually for a special occasion that they're having their makeup done. So I just take my dual fiber brush, and I'm just going to pat under my eyes like that, because I want that highlight to set and not crease up under my eyes. And I'm just going to do circular motions like this on my entire face. Get up in there good, where we put the highlight with the concealer, and I'm just going to work it and do a little bit under my neck so it can blend, and just do the same thing on this side. Circular motions that I'm using. I'm not going too hard either. I'm like, I have a medium pressure that I'm using to blend this. And then again, I'm going to kind of tap it in here under my eyes, and then just kind of work it. I'm going to get your powder in good, where you don't necessarily see the highlight streak, but you still can see it where it's still highlighted. So you want to cover it, but not completely. And I'm going to go into my forehead, and the same thing. Just kind of brush it up. And just cover up the little blemishes that I covered up. And then I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller dual fiber brush as well, just to get in my sides here, because I don't really want to mess up my eyebrows. So I just use a smaller brush just to kind of get the powder in there, where it's still, and get my, so that we don't really have to retouch up our eyebrows or anything. Okay, so next we're going to highlight, and I'm just going to use, I have a fan brush here, and I have this, I got it at Target. It's Physicians Formula, and it is Vegas Strip Light Bronzer, and I need a new one actually, but I'm just going to take it and lightly pat it on my fan brush, and then I'm going to work it in there. I have a little bit here. See that? And then just do the same thing over here. Okay, then I'm going to use my NARS Orgasm with the regular blush brush and smile. And I'm just going to blend it in really well. And do the same thing on this side. Just blend it in. Okay. Okay. Then I'm gonna go in with my MAC I think 210 or 218 little blending brush there. I'm gonna do the bottom of my eyes with my dark brown eyeshadow. I'm just gonna put it on the line there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And I want a real kind of clean, natural look today. So I'm not going to apply any top gel liner. I'm going to actually just leave it like this today. I don't want anything too harsh. And I'm just going to go in and apply my mascara. And this mascara is just Super Stretch by Ulta. I actually really like it too. I'm just going to apply like 2 coats of this to my top lashes, and then about just probably 1 coat to my bottom lash. Okay. And I'm gonna take my blending brush because I got a little bit up here and just blend that out. And then I'm just gonna do 1 coat at the bottom. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, and for my lips, I'm going to use MAC's Vino lip liner, and I'm just gonna apply that my entire lip. I'm gonna go a little lighter in the middle part because I'm gonna add a different color to that for a different effect. Okay. I'm gonna work that in. Like your corners. Okay, and then I'm going to actually apply MAC's Bronze Shimmer. You guys can't really see that, but Bronze Shimmer lipstick. It's really beautiful. Into the middle part to get a little bit of a different effect. Okay, and just a tiny bit of it. Clean it up with my concealer brush. The little bit left that I have on it. Just gonna clean that up a little bit. Use a closer mirror to do that. Okay. And that's just cleaning up the lipstick and the liner. Lightly blend it in. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm going to take my brush and just kind of clean up and have the concealer blended a little bit more with some powder. Okay. Go over my line. Go over my line. Okay, and that is it. We have completed our look, and I will set my makeup with my Fix Spray. And we're all set to go. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned in. There will be more to come. Have a great day.